Last Light, which is the sequel to Metro 2033, a book by Dmitry Glukowski. Buy now, supplies last. We're totally not being sponsored by them. Anyway, Metro 23... Metro...
You have to buy the book, or else we will get taken off of the YouTube channel.
We got a sponsor. But essentially, Metro Last Light takes place in the bombed-out remains of Moscow, because apparently we still live in, like, the Cold War, and nuclear war happens, and Russians don't die from radiation. Nevertheless, it takes place in Moscow's metro system, where survivors eke out a living by shooting each other. And you fight against mutants, because apparently radiation just doesn't kill things. But
it mutates them too.
Yeah, well, basically, pretty sure it kills things outright.
I personally found this game as like a so-so kind of a thing, whereas
yeah,
there were a lot of things that were really good, and there were a lot of things that they could have done better.
Well, being a total Metro fanboy, I give it 10 mutated fingers out of 20. But But graphically, it's amazing, and you can use it as a trial by fire to see if the PC you just bought is worth selling your soul over. Gameplay-wise, it offers...
Mine wasn't.
Gameplay-wise, it offers new things to the table. So, basically, since military ammo is very scarce, essentially your guns run on money, because military-grade ammunition is used as currency, which means new guns come to the table, such as ones that run on compressed air, so you're basically using BB guns.
I've always wanted a gun where you pull the trigger and it just shoots out a giant flurry of money. That would be awesome.
We should patent that. Nevertheless, there's also supernatural aspects to it. So it's basically The Sixth Sense meets Chernobyl. And Bruce Willis doesn't die at the end. Well, also... Well, what are your thoughts?
Well, I personally think the first-person shooter mechanics work really well.
It's much meatier than the last one, because...
I also like when you fight the mutants, because mutants are just... There's always something to shoot at in the game.
Because shooting at people is wrong. But shooting at mutated animals, or... Are they mutated animals? I'm not really sure. There's like scorpion, spider things.
Now what I don't like about the game is that it sort of restrains you. It's like you're always like following an NPC.
It's a rail shooter, literally. It takes place in an underground railway.
Well, yeah, but I don't like how it doesn't have a lot of freedom to sort of explore. There are parts where you do get to explore little areas of the metro and the entire open nuclear Moscow, but there's parts where, like, sometimes your hands are tied behind your back so you can only watch, and so there are moments where there's not really... It feels like you go to one place, you shoot a bunch of things, go to another place, shoot a bunch of those other things.
Yeah.
Also, the stealth mechanics are very basic. There was one point in...
It's a first-person shooter,
not a stealth
action shooter.
in my playthrough, when I just stood right in front of a guard, and he didn't even flinch. I knocked him out, and then he just fell over.
Yeah, well, I have another complaint. Because there's apparently... I recommend playing it in the original Russian with English subtitles, because the voice acting is kind of... well, to say the least, terrible.
Yeah.
But because they use like the same 4 voice actors with the really bad Russian accents that don't really add much to the tape, it's bad.
So yes,
yeah,
what's the verdict?
Well, because I like games like I like my coffee, dark and depressing. And I like Metro 2033. As I said, 10 mutated fingers out of 20.